Dear comrades and friends of United Union in the STUC, we thank you very much to invite us in order to contribute to your initiatives, bringing our project of the Universal Charter of Fundamental Rights. We thank you very much for that, because we are establishing a bridge which will help all of us pushing ahead our fights for more rights for everybody. But first of all, let us tell you that we are close to you and to the British people because of the tragic events happened in Manchester recently. We have to fight for rights also for these reasons, in order to stop the tragedies like this attack was. We thank you also in order to let us work for a possibility of cooperation, as it was established in the past Congress when we had the first talks about the reciprocal project. We are spreading ahead your campaigns on rising fights and struggle for rights for workers without a good protection and contractual protection. We are here presenting now in this fashion we hope will be enough communicative. The project we are pushing ahead since the last couple of years about the possibility to retake the initiatives on fights for new rights for all the workers together and united. This is called in Italy the Charter of Fundamental Universal Rights. It's a project of Cgil, which has a strong and important process behind, and which is the long-term vision we want to set in order to continue the trade union action in our country, but also in Europe and in the world. We are here beside me, myself, and Fabio Gelfi, responsible for international activities of Cgil Lombardia, and Valentina, she's a member of the Secretariat of Cgil Lombardia, and we will tell you something about what this strategy is and what are the output and the goals we want to achieve. So I want you to start.
This is our charter. It is made of 97 articles. It is a new statute of labor rights, and the idea was to set a new framework for individual rights and for collective agreements in Italy. What we did was to try to perceive three main goals. The first is equality, the second is universality, and the third is support collective action. First of all, equality. Now we know in Italian labor market, but not only in Italian labor market, there are several differences among workers. So what we wanted to do was to set a new and unique and universal floor for all individuals, regardless of their individual conditions, regardless of their being freelancers, regardless of their being self-employed people, temporary people, subordinate workers, and so on. No matter of individual conditions, the idea is that you have universal basic rights. And actually, we were inspired by our Italian constitutional law in this action. But it was also a process, a campaign process. And now I let Fabio to show you how was the process.
We wanted to make something which was not just a technical action producing a new legislation, which was not just an initiative decided in an executive committee becoming a document. We wanted to have a process which called us to make something also new for our tradition as a confederation. Indeed, it was decided to vote a document which is not just a political document, but is an entire law of 97 articles redesigning the workers' rights in our country. And this is expression of the work of lawyers belonging to the union and working with us in the Confederation. But then we wanted also to add another aspect, because in order to fight we need participation. In order to fight we need to imply the participation of our people and not only of our people. So we had to have the process, let's call it an organizing process. We had to bring this idea and this project among the people and among the workers. So what we did was firstly to decide in the executive committee of Cgil that this would have been the struggle and the fight for the next years. Then we brought it in working places, holding more than 42,000 meetings in working places, voting, letting our members to vote if they were for or against this project, and we had their approval. So this was the first participation step. The second one, and this brought us to a not ordinary activity for the union, was to bring the idea of a new law in the society, collecting a petition, asking the parliament to produce a new law for new rights. And this was a success because we collect more than 3 million signatures, which supports now the idea of a new statute of workers. And this is a point important to be mentioned, is that most of the signatures were not signatures of our members, but they were signatures of citizens. So we can say we have the support of the society. Then, what was the result? Because of the Italian legislation, we were in condition to ask for referendums on the cancellation, in order to cancel some of the most extreme precarious work condition given by the law. And so, succeeding in collecting the signature, the petition for a new statute, and the petition asking for cancelling these laws, we were in condition to push on the government in order to ask them to cancel them, and or to go to the referendum asking people to vote for it, and the government was scared for it. So they cancelled the laws, and this was our first success. But it was in some way the start of the new track we have to work in the future, because this is a vision, this is something which gives us a perspective on which we have to help the next midterm strategies. And I would like to Valentina to continue now.
Yes, but we are not only interested in a national and Italian perspective, because we know that main problems we are facing are equal all around Europe, not to say all around the world. So this is why we do really appreciate the possibility of being in contact with you, of sharing our project, because what we need to do is campaign together, because we have very similar problems which are due to internationalization of economy, and on a common framework we have to adopt common goals and common actions. It is not only a matter of goals and not only a matter of a theoretical perspective, but it's a matter of common action, practical and organization, from an organization point of view also.
Because this is solidarity, and solidarity for us, as for you, is probably the first pillar, the element, the fundamental element of trade unionism, the value of trade unionism. But we think also that solidarity must be operational, so we have to find a way to work together and have to campaign in order to find a way to make the same fight on the different grounds. And we have to fight together in order to get the support of others, and to get the support and the cooperation of other countries and other trade unions and other workers on a project which can become a common project. This is a strong point we have to consider, because this is relating to some aspects which have to be considered, of course, fundamental rights, but it brings us to think about human rights, because the condition of life and the condition of work is something that has to be referring to everybody and cannot be linked only to some kind of employment contract. And I add the last sentence, we have to make it that in a solidarity approach because we share common problems. Better Than Zero campaign, it's a campaign which could be easily run in Italy. A campaign on gig economy workers is a campaign which could be easily run also in our towns, in our metropolitan areas. And I would add, this was a topic of the referendums, to intervene on the rights of supplier chains governed by the chain of value given by multinational companies is something which is regarding all of us, you, Italians, Scottish people and people of the world. So we have to act together, we have to campaign together, we have to help projects for new rights together.